Hello, this is Jim Kaufman with Rankin Technical College. Wanted to create a quick video on just kind of getting things set up for the hands-on test number three. Because you're basically creating a full stack, a MERN stack, so a full stack project application for the product one for this hot. So I just kind of wanted to go over some of the basics of just getting that set up because something that we don't do a lot of. Once you set it up, you probably don't run it again unless you're setting up another project. So just kind of want to run through that real quick. So in my hands-on test folder of my repository, Hot 3, I'm going to open that up. And then I want to go ahead and go to a terminal. And then in the terminal, I want to go ahead and run npm create vite latest. And for this, we just call this front end. Obviously, you can call it what you want. That's a React project, and it's going to be a JavaScript. And now we want to go ahead and cd to the front end, and we want to do an npm install. Okay, and now we can go ahead and we're in the front end folder. So here we can just go ahead just to make sure it's up and running and works. We can do npm. Sorry, I had the wrong thing highlighted there. npm run dev. And just want to make sure it's up and running. And this is just the basic functionality here, the base functionality. Obviously, you're going to have to come in and change this for the Hot 3, basically the product app you're building. So you'll have to make changes to that when you get to that point. But that's just, that's all you need to do. Pretty simple nowadays. They've made this much simpler. Get an application up and running. So that's all you need to do to get that front end part working. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stop that for now. And we want to go back up to the root directory now. So we want to be back into the Hot 3 directory. Now we want to go ahead and, so we're at the root directory of our application. We want to go ahead and create the default package.json file. For a node project. So what we're going to do here is npm init, and you can do this and then go through the different things, or if you want to just do a quick default one, you can do the -y. So this is npm install. I don't think that I don't have the hands-on test up, the document for that. If it does tell you to put some information, don't do the -y here, right? If it doesn't ask for something, you can just use the default there. And so this is just going to create your base package.json file, right? Okay, and then you want to go ahead and we want to use ESM modules, right? So what you want to do here is you want to do type module. Make sure you got your commas because otherwise you will get an error. And then we want to do some start commands as well. And missing a comma there. Okay. That should do it. And then the next thing you want to do is create your index.js file. I'm going to do a new file here, index.js. I'll just put some of the basics in here. You know what? This is going to be similar to what you did for the final project. I'm not going to do all your work here, but here's, you got to import what you need to import, express debug.env. And obviously you're going to need to do the npm install for each of your packages you're using. Okay. Make sure you do your .env.config here and get things set up for your debug statements. So here also you're going to create your .env file. Okay, and then in your .env file, that's where you're going to go ahead and put the correct things for configuring your debug statements. Take a look at your front end one, the one for the final project one, the last lab, lab 3, 3.2 and 3.3, right? What you were doing for that. So then also you're going to put your Mongo database connection there as well. Okay. Let's see what else here. Okay, and I forgot to when we were in the front end here, so let me CD to the front end real quick. So now I'm in the front end again. I'm in this front end folder. So you need to make sure that you do the, and always watch out with the multiple package.json files that you're using the right one, right? Because that could be kind of a challenge sometimes for all of us. So we do need to build this, right? Obviously, you're going to be, you kind of want to get it working with just the default stuff. Then you're going to come in later on and change the front end for the hands-on test. But so make sure that you do the Vite, not the Vite, npm run, and then we do the run build. We want to do run build here to build this. So this will create the dist directory, which is always very quick. So here's your dist directory, just like we've done before. So now you've got this dist directory. And then here within your index.js file, make sure that you have all of this. So obviously, I don't know, depends on what you call this here, okay? If you did, well, here I call it app, right? So app use, make sure you use JSON to ensure this is before your routes. The URL encoded, make sure you do that so that within Postman, if you're doing sending anything based on body here, right? We're doing a lot of PARM stuff for the hands-on test, but it doesn't hurt to also have the URL encoded stuff in there as well. So make sure you put that in there as well. And then obviously you want to do your express static for your front end. So obviously this here has to match what you have in here, right? Front end, then dist. So whatever, if you've called your something different here, then you need to change that to the correct path there, correct directory name. Okay, so I didn't want to, since this is a hands-on test, I want to be going too far into what needs to be done here. But you can look at your what you've done for your final project up until this point. If you need to, you look back at your you should have an index.js file. And also here, you're going to also want to create a new file for a database. Right? Helps if I spell it right. There you go. Your database, there one as well. So kind of look what you've done for your other lab assignments to help you get started. Just kind of wanted to give you a, kind of a quick start, especially since you don't create new Vite projects all that using Vite very much. So just kind of give you a little quick quick review of that. So make sure you create your front end first, get that all wired up. Don't, make sure you include your static, make sure you include URL encoded and also the JSON as well. Obviously, you're gonna have to do the npm import to import everything, and also keep an eye on your package.json file. This is the one that's in your root directory, okay? And this is where you're using Nodeman here. And then in your front end directory, you've got your package.json file that basically has your scripts for Vite here, right? Which would basically we use Vite dev to start it and Vite build. But what you'll be able to do once you have that defined correctly, your index.js file here, you should just be able to go ahead and create your run your app from here, and it'll include your Vite as well. So, okay, just want to give a quick introduction there. Please let me know if you have any questions. Like I said, go ahead and look at your front end code to help you, the front end of your final project, because it's pretty much the same thing there. How we set that up, both from the root perspective and your front end folder as well. So kind of follow that same way of doing things. Thank you very much and have a good day.